Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Empyrion, Galactic Survival. I'm going to do my best to have a brief review. Not very good at brief, but without further ado, here we go. Empyrion is a survival game, multiplayer as well, but I'm only playing single player at the moment. And while it's still in the alpha, it is still a very, very nice game. I like it. There is still a lot of things to be fixed, a lot of things to be worked out, and improvements to be made. And there's a lot of suggestions going on in the forums. But if you look at it, it's a fairly pretty game. Look at this. It's pretty pretty. I like this. I like the game. I think it looks really nice. So without further ado, let's get on. So let's get the HUD back. So you can see you've got your... Down in the lower left hand side, you've got the food, health, oxygen, stamina, your speed, your jetpack, gravity, and your helmet. And above that you have the 1 to 0 hotbar system. If you press I, you get your inventory. You can see a nice rendition of your character. At the moment you can't really customize the face, although you can change the two-tone armor. You've got the primary colors here and the secondary colors. I like the grey as a primary color. I think it's very spacey. I wasn't so sure about the other, so I just chose blue. But here you go. So you can see you've got the player, you've got your inventory. You actually carry a lot, and this is the rest of what you're carrying. So let's have a quick look at my base. Let's turn the lights on. So you just got a caught a glimpse of my ship. This is one of my power solutions. I haven't really done much upstairs. And this is the rest of my base. I say base, it's just sort of my home, so to speak. We've got 2 crafting stations. You can see there are a lot of items. You have to go out and drill to get items. I believe I have a drill. Yeah, here we go. And it works. There are 3 sort of guns that you will... I say guns, they're tools. They would be the drilling laser, the drill. You have got... There we go. This is the repair and demolish tool. Left mouse demolishes, right mouse repairs. As you can see, I'll demonstrate on this wall. So demolishing and then repairing. And then you've got your ground flattening tool, which is sort of where you'll place. You can just flatten things out, or you can raise them up again. It just makes even ground. It's just the way that works. And then you've got this, the world, the planet. If we look at the map, you can see this is my planet, these are my bases. I've got 2 small ships here, apparently 3. Oh, this is the escape pod. Okay, I'll show you the escape pod. This is your starting planet. This is Aqua, I think. It's just down here. It's temperate. The gravity, it's a little bit less than Earth, the gravity, so you can jump a little bit more. You can see the current temperature is, and the average temperature is 23, so it's a very, very, very habitable planet. It's nice. I like it. So you can activate your jump pack by pressing J. You can't sprint while your jump pack is enabled. However, it does drain your stamina. And you can then fly a little bit, but it recharges fairly quickly. So I just realised I don't have a weapon, so I can't really deal with any of these things if they come for me. That doesn't matter. But here you go. So you can see this is the planet. I'll take you to the... where is it? Over here. Oh yeah, I want to sprint. There we go. I want to try and find the... should be right here. I must have demolished it, that's fine. Or it must have been destroyed by something. Well, there's no more escape pod, but that doesn't matter. The hostile mobs come out at night, or they're around all the time, but there's always more at night. This is my base. I'll give you a quick rundown of the food. The food crafting system is really... I really like it. It needs a little bit of work. Oh, there we go, some damage. It's all in here. This is all the food you can make. You start off with a few items. Emergency rations is one thing. You start off with your 4 emergency rations, and that will fill your hunger up full. I think everything works at a 500 base. So you'll have 500 HP, you'll have 500 food, 500 oxygen, stamina, etc. And then to get back your oxygen, you've got to use an oxygen station. I'll show you those in a second. And this is the food production. I've found that actually the easiest one to make from the get-go, once you've built your base, would be the canned meat. And it's really worth getting a weapon, a good weapon, like the assault rifle or something like that, going out hunting, filling your inventory full of meat, sticking it in a fridge, and then when you have the tomatoes and you grow those, get canned meat, because canned meat is the second best, I think, apart from the emergency rations, and it actually lasts longer. You can see the perish time here, that's in minutes, I believe. So you have 350 minutes, which is going to last you most of a game session if you keep it on your person, and inside a fridge it's going to last forever. So I like that. But early game I used to eat a lot of space fries and popcorn, because they were two very easy, because you had the space Durans and the corn. But honestly, I like the canned meat, which is why you'll see a lot of tomatoes in my farm, and I like the canned vegetables because you can grow everything you need inside a farm to make this, except for the purified water. However, this requires one less ingredient, and they're both pretty easy to get. So I like canned vegetables, that's what I eat most of the time, but when I go on away missions I'll take the canned meat with me. It's just easier, it heals, it gives you more food, and it's just a little bit better, I think. But I'll show you my farm. So here you go, you can see the corn, space Durans, the pear things, I'm not sure. These are pumpkins here, this is wheat for lots of bread, lots and lots of tomatoes, and we've got a couple of these which I can't remember what they're called. But you can see it's okay. I might just remake this so it's just the stuff for the canned foods, because I mean I don't need the pear things and I don't need the wheat. I'm never going to waste all the resources to make an emergency rations, and I don't suggest you do either. I suggest you stick to canned meat. There really is no point in carrying emergency rations other than the fact that they're a little bit, I think they stack, they might stack, I'm not sure, and they heal, like, they give you a lot more food and they fill your stamina up a lot more. So I suppose it's useful if you're going to go into some sort of raid. You might want to take a couple of emergency rations with you, but it's much better to take water if you want to heal stamina. But yeah, so here you go, and this is the oxygen going away from the food. You've got the O2 container, which holds very little amount of oxygen, and the way it works is you just hop into here and you'll see down in the left hand corner the oxygen meter has filled up, and here is the health station. And the health station, or the medic bay, is one of your spawn locations, so you can spawn in your medic bay. Let me just demonstrate. So to eat food, it just goes into your hotbar, and at the moment there are no player models for these sorts of things, so you're just going to have to trust that it's in your hand and eat it, and you can see my food's gone up quite a substantial amount. But without further ado, how about we go and I'll show you some mining. It's night, so I will need, I'm just going to quickly craft a gun. Let's take a laser rifle. I need 2 advanced CPUs. So I'll show you a little bit of the crafting system at the moment. You go and you mine resources, you've got all these bits, and then you build components for the things you need from the resources. So as you can see here, I've made 2 advanced CPUs, which require 1 neodymium, neodymium ingot, and 1 silicon ingot. And that makes 2 advanced CPUs. You've got things like capacitor devices, metal pieces, and you need all of these different bits to build a ship. So I'm just going to make a laser rifle. So you can see, for example, you need a core for almost everything you're going to build. And you can see the colours up here. You've got the red, yellow, green and blue. Blue is a ground vehicle or a hovercraft. You've got a small vessel, which is the green, which is like your fighter spaceship or your first exploration spaceship. And then you've got your capital vessel, which is your large vessels. So think like a Star Destroyer style thing. if you've got X-Wings and then Star Destroyers, and then you've got your bases which are green, and you can see it here illustrated a little bit better. They've got the hover vehicles, you've got the small vessels, capital vessels, and for bases. And this is how it all works. You can see it's all things, and there are different objects for different things. So you can see like there's lots of ground vessels and small vessel cockpits here, and then you go up here and you've got base consoles and other consoles, and you've got some cockpits for the capital vessels. You can see my laser rifle's done. I'll just stick that there. And you can build thrusters. If you're going to build, I'll run you through a small vessel in a second actually before we set off. And you've got all sorts. I don't like automatic doors. When your base runs out of fuel, which it eventually will, automatic doors lock up and you can't go through them, so I just don't bother with those. And things like spotlights are useful, but I much prefer the portable work light O2. It really lights up an area. It's great. But you can see here there are objects you need to build bases. And let me just pick up a couple of the spotlights. I'll need those. I'll drop these off as well. You can just shift click things in and out. No, that's the wrong one. In and out of things. So I've got two constructors here because I put ore in this one because it takes a long time. If you've mined a lot, it takes a long time to get ore, and it's kind of nice just to have one freeze to craft things when you need. Well, I've already shown you this tool, so I don't really need to show you the flattener. I've got everything I need. Let me put the painter back in there as well. You can have half the charges here as well. Cool. Great. Oh, and I'll stick those next, I don't need them. Right, well, I'll show you my two small vessels. I'll start off with the one that I'm going to show you, then on the one that I'm going to fly out. This is my first, this is like my third small vessel that I've made in this playthrough, purely because mine keep getting destroyed when I try to go to the asteroids. As you can see the cockpit, I've got 4 rocket launchers, and it's a bit of a weird shape, it's very bulbous. I'll just go and illustrate how bulbous it is. There you go, you can see how big it is, and the health station here. But that's because I've got this little protected area inside. I've got 2 fuel stations which actually need filling up. I should have some in here somewhere. I don't. Okay, excellent, I'll go and get some more fuel. You can see here little thrusters, directional thrusters, the oxygen, and a little crafting station. This is nice. I've got a protected area. I can defend myself from lots of mobs. I can also hide in here because a lot of them are too tall to come in. So this is a nice area I can stay in, and it's lit up nicely, and it's just a little bit more defended. So if a drone comes by, I have a little bit more time to react and get the items I need if I need them. But let's go and grab some fuel, and let's fuel this bad boy up. And let's go mining. I'll show you some mining, and I'll show you some flying. Boosh, boosh, there we go. We'll stick the stuff there. I shouldn't need any more than that. So here we go. This is not the one I'm going to take out, I'm sorry. Here you go, spotlights and such. They're fairly easy to build. Although it's really hard not to come up with a really weird shape. This is very utilitarian, so I don't really care. This is sort of my planet-to-planet style ship, where I can carry a lot of resources, I can build bases from it. It's very easy to fly, although it's kind of sluggish in the turns, whereas my other ship, which doesn't actually have any armament on it at the moment, is much faster. I'm going to have 4 weapons up here in these little recesses once I've got the resources for them. You can see I've still got the 2 fuel tanks. I would recommend putting 2 fuel tanks in any small vessel, just because you can run out of fuel, and it's always nice to have some backup. I've got a storage unit here, and a storage unit here on the wings, and back here I've got the 2 oxygen station, I've got a refrigerator, and another cargo box. So, and again, I've got everything I need to survive. except no armaments. But that doesn't matter, we don't need armaments at the moment, so let's power this on. Y, spacebar to go up, C to go down, and you can pretty much just look where you're going. Oh look, there's another planet. So, for the sake of argument, I don't actually need magnesium, but I'm going to go and land at magnesium. But before that, let's have a little fly around. You can see here, it handles nicely. I'll explain how to make a ship handle nicely in a minute, but you can see it flies around. The roll rate isn't particularly great, but that doesn't matter because I've got really good yaw, so I can just turn around on an absolute dime. I can just spin, which is nice. Oh, underwater. The ships are capable of going underwater, it doesn't crash. Let's just show you that. There you go, you can go underwater. You can't really see much, so there's no real use, and to be honest, there's nothing in the water, so it doesn't really matter. But let's just take a look at this ship. There we go. So you can see, it'd be nice if the landing gear retracted, but they don't, and very, very maneuverable, very easy to fly, even though they look kind of odd. So let's go back into first person, slow this thing down, and oh, there we go, land. So that landed the ship, and it's time to go mine some magnesium. So you have to use your drill. Oh no, oh yeah, I've got this, cool. And I've got no ammunition, this isn't good. Well, jetpack off, we're gonna go and get some ammunition. Luckily our base is very close, and we'll deal with that thing. So let's go up here. It's still night. This is one thing as well, is you'll notice that the day-night cycles are very, very fast. These are very small planets. The gravity is not to scale. A lot of people were kind of fussing about that, but to be honest, if the gravity was to scale, you'd be flying off. And I've got ammunition here. There we go. And it just wouldn't be as good if the gravity was to scale. I mean, it would be, you know, maybe a tenth of what it is now. And the thing is, if you had a planet with this much gravity, I mean, you're talking like the size of Mars, and for a small ship, where its maximum speed is 40 meters a second, it's not very fast. 40 meters a second is, if I do some maths, oh crap, no, just Y, there we go. Come on, 40 meters a second, let me think. 40 meters a second, you know what, it's too early in the morning for me to do math like that. It's pretty simple, but I still feel like oh, is there something else? Yeah, there is something else, thank you. All over the shop. Oh, you son of a bitch. This is the thing with mobs, is you kind of need a decent gun. Is that it? These are all hostile mobs? Are you hostile? Okay, I'm just going to kill you anyway. Thank you. Great. Oh, that's all the hostile mobs. It better be all the hostile mobs. And you see, these are non-hostile. This is actually a asset for Unity, so I'm not exactly sure why they've decided to use that, but they have. It might just be placeholder. But let's do some mining, and I'll show you how this works. So there are two modes for mining. You've got one mode on the left mouse. You've got the same mode, it seems. Yeah, you got the same mode if you hold the right mouse. If you hold both of them together, it uses fuel a lot faster, but you do mine a hell of a lot quicker. So just got to get through to the thing. You can see I'm just slowly chipping away at everything and digging a hole. We'll get to the magnesium soon enough, and I'll show you how the mining system works properly. Come on, where's the magnesium? Okay, cool. So we're at the magnesium, and you can see eventually it'll just pop out of the rock. Here you go, like this. Although this is just a crushed stone. Is that coming after me? Better not be. So here we got crushed stone, and this looks like it's magnesium, I think. I hope so. I would like to get a little bit of magnesium. So this is just mining. I hold both of the buttons down because I usually build enough ammo. The ammo for these for the drill is cheap, so I usually just spam it. I don't think it's hugely efficient. You know, I'm not getting into magnesium. That's fine, doesn't matter. But you can see you can end up digging a big hole very, very quickly. And yeah, so I'm just going to get out of here. And so that's the mining system. It's really rudimentary. It's super simple. Nothing to get caught on or caught up on. So let's go explore another planet. We've got plenty of fuel. Let's go to the lava planet. That's an interesting planet. Let me just find that in the sky if there is here. No, not here. Cool. Never mind. You know what? I'm just going to go land at the base. We'll swap ships and I'll save it. Just in case. And, oh crap. I had a bit of a lag spike there. Okay. Well, that's an alpha, so what do you expect? Cool, nothing's been damaged, nothing except for the base. Cool, well, the base is easy to repair. Much easier than my ships. So, since I've refueled this already, let's take this up. I don't need that light, that'll drain energy. And let's go find the lava planet. I've got a cool little base there. Got a cool little base on the ice planet as well. I can't remember the names of the planets. I have been bitten though. I should be okay. Yeah. I know I've got health. You know what, let's go to the ice planet. Because I know I've got health packs on the ice planet. Here we go, so we're in space now. You can see my power usage has gone down dramatically. It's really handy that they also give you... Is that... Yeah, yes it is. So you can see here, you got the planets. You can look around if you hold Alt. And yeah, you can see in space you move 110 meters a second, which is... It's 1.1 kilometers every 10 seconds. So you're really not moving. The scale of this galaxy is very, very, very small. So you have to take that into account. But we're getting very close. There's no gravity yet. Soon we'll get... There you go, you can see gravity. And eventually we will start to go through the atmosphere. Here you go, here you can see the atmosphere. It's just a shadow of the terrain, I think. Not hugely spectacular, but there you go. Let's now... Cool. Here we go. I have come up right by my base. Fantastic. Well, I haven't been here for a little while, but I know I've got some health kits with me. So we're just going to go down. There's no use hovering around. And I converted a base that I found, or a manned station, not manned station, it's just an automatic station that I found. So I'm just going to land here. I painted it red because it'd be easy to see from a distance. I was right, it was. Let's turn the ship off, and let's get in the base, because I need to get myself healed. It looks like we've still got power. I'm running from a small generator, yeah. Just a little bit of power left. Let me see if I have some more in here. Yes, I do. Cool. Well, let's fill that up. And I've got anything in the refrigerator? I do. Cool. Well, let's eat something as well. Hams. Lots of hams. And let's stand in here while we heal. So. Yum, 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 yum. And we'll fly around this planet, and then we'll go back home and I'll end this thing. Nice. So, this is... What planet is this? We can check on it. This is Niguus. Something like that. Niguus. I'll stick that. It's a snow planet. It's fairly simple. There's nothing really special about this planet. It's very cold. Minus 38 degrees Celsius is the mean temperature. I've got no idea what that is in Fahrenheit, but here we go. So, and to take over bases is really, really easy. All you have to do is destroy the red core. When you go into... I can't see any. When you go into a alien base, you'll often find a red core somewhere. It'll look like this, except these lights, instead of being green, will be red. If you make a core, you can then destroy that red core and swap the core out. You can place the core anywhere, but I just generally stick it where the other one was. And it then becomes yours. It doesn't create a waypoint, unfortunately, which is one of the reasons why I built this little grow house there. But you can then start to use buildings. You can just build it out into your own little sort of base. So you can see here, this is very small. It's only got one level. I've got loads of guns and building blocks and ammunition, stuff like that. And you can see the neodymium deposit right there, and the little mining lights. And this is my little grow station. I haven't actually put anything here because I haven't got any seeds to put on there. But you can see very simple base, but actually a very nice base. I like this one a lot. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I may or may not do something on the roof, I don't know. But you can see here, so let's just fly down, and each of these planets, hello, let's destroy you. Ciao. Each of these planets has their own resource, which is generally non-existent on your own. Oh, can't get out while it's moving. No, there we go. And I'll show you this here. This is the Estrum resource. I don't know which nationality the devs are, but I have a feeling it's Russian, because you've got a couple of odd sounding resources that I'll show you when we get back to base that you have to go to other places to mine. But this is Estrum right here. You'll find this on the ice planet. You'll find Zarcosium, something like that, on the lava planet, and you'll find Xanthium, or the other one that begins with S, in the asteroids, which I'm having difficulty getting because of the drones. But you can see here, I just like to build a base close to a resource, and then I'll mine it. These are non-hostile mobs. There's usually lots of meat, and there is milk on here as well if you want to get that. And there are always the indigenous plant life that will be needed for certain things. But let's go back. Let's go back to space and let's fly home. Let's turn the helmet off. I'll start using the internal air supply of the ship, which means I'll be using the oxygen containers inside of the ship for the oxygen station at the back. So we're going to fly back into space, have a look at the map. Don't need to look at the map, cool. And you can see my power usage is 37%. I've got 28.5 minutes of fuel time left. And distance to orbit, 1 meter, and now I'm orbit, and you can see my flight left has, well, it's over double, and I'm only using 14% of my energy. You don't actually need to cover your ship in rockets. Where am I going? I must be over this way somewhere then. You don't need to cover your ship in rockets, purely because of the simple reason. Was that something there? Yes, it was. Cool. Purely because you'll accelerate to your maximum speed, that's my planet, and then you'll not exceed it. So the cap in space seems to be 110 meters a second. On planets, it's 40 meters a second. So there's no point putting like 6 or 7 boosters on. All you're going to do is increase your power usage. I generally stick to 9 directional thrusters, and I'll explain that in a second when I land, and 2 main thrusters, the armored thrusters, for propelling forwards. I put 4 on the yaw axis. I put 2 going down for thrust, and I put 1 directional thruster pointing upwards in the other y-axis, just to allow myself to land properly. And then that's pretty much it. I think. No, I've got 1 going forwards and 1 going backwards to help me stop and go forwards and stuff like that. And that's so that I have a lot of authority over the yaw. I'll explain how I do it. I might make a separate video tutorial. If this one gets some views and there's a couple of people asking for a tutorial on how to build a good maneuverable small vessel, then I will definitely do it. I like making videos, even though I don't do it hugely often. Let's take a look at the map, find our base. Oh, we found iron. That's going to be very useful. Our base is a little way away. It seems to be over this direction. And this means I can show you the towers. Yes, over this direction. These towers, you'll find them on every planet. These are alien towers. They usually have 4 rockets at the bottom, or plasma turrets, and they'll have 1 turret at the top. Don't let these hit you. You can snipe them with rockets very, very easily. From a little bit, yeah, about this sort of range, you can start to snipe them with the rockets. The rockets have got extreme range. They move fairly slowly, even though it's actually quite quickly. And you can see one nice thing is they'll trail across the ground. You can see them light up the ground. And that's another one that I've destroyed. I tend to destroy these. You see the little white, these little white bits that I just shot. I destroy those on the top of the tower purely because it makes it much, it's this way. It makes it much, much easier for me to tell at a distance whether I've destroyed that or not. We're just on the other side. There we go, small base. And it's much easier to tell if they've been destroyed or not. So we'll land. I'll talk through the basics of CV, of SV building even. I've yet to build a CV, but I will make a video of that when I do it. So we're just going to come round, slot in. Oh, not quite the best landing I've ever done. And land. And it'll be much easier for me to explain how to do the vessels when on this one. So this has got the same amount of thrusters as that. Because it's got less blocks on it, it's got less mass, and that means it's more maneuverable. So you can see here I've got the 2 main thrusters going backwards. I've got a thruster here, a directional thruster, and a directional thruster here going down. I've got 1 directional thruster going up right there, and I've got a couple of directional thrusters. No, these ones are pointing inwards. So these are part of one of my 4 yaw controlling thrusters. I've got another 2 yaw controlling thrusters inside on the very inside there. If actually, do you know what? If I turn this, yeah, there we go. So you can see I've got this thruster here. These 2 going down. These are both directional thrusters. I've got 2 yaw thrusters here. I've got 2 yaw thrusters here. And what this does is it pivots around the center of mass. And so what I have is I've got 1 thruster pointing in either direction here, 1 point in either direction here, and that allows 2 to fire and gives it a really good rotation around the y-axis, around the z axis. I'm fairly sure. I'm not sure. It gives me a lot of yaw authority, which is very important for flying in space and outmaneuvering the drones. If you have a sluggish ship, you're going to get destroyed a lot faster. And you can see these 2 ones here, and these 2 will be pointing inwards. That's the very, very basics of small vessel building. Is just making sure you have the right amount of thrusters for your ship, so you are maneuverable enough. But I like building small vessels, if that makes sense. These are fairly small vessels. I'm going to build a big one, I think. I'd like to build like a miniature capital ship style vessel. But this is my fighter, and I like it. I think it's nice. Actually, it reminds me of one of the ships in an opening sequence in Star Wars, and I can't remember which one it is. I believe it's one of the new ones. Yeah, it'll be one of the new ones where they fight General Grievous, and this is one of the ships, it looks like, from there. I mean, it's not quite the right shape of the nose, but it's the right kind of swept wing, and then comes back in a little diamond type of shape. It was completely unintentional. I think it was more of a back of my mind type of thing. But I've gone for a sort of red and white and black colour scheme. It's aggressive and mean, whereas this one's a very sort of blue and white mellow. God, I didn't do a very good job landing that, did I? And I've got this landing pad up here, so eventually I'll have 3 small vessels that I'll decide what to do with. At some point I might import this to my own multiplayer thing, and I might have a couple of friends and we can do that, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that's the very basics of SV building. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. It's a great game, I love it. There are a few issues, but there always are with alphas, or pre-alpha, even if you can see it back there. 3.1.2.0169. So let's turn this off and It's actually too late to watch the sunset. It's already dark. Never mind. It's really good. Is it worth the money? I don't know. You decide. If you like survival games, you like space, you like ships, you like doing shit like this, then yes, absolutely it's worth the money. I really enjoy it. I've got maybe 50 hours since I bought it a few weeks ago, so I've been playing this on and off. Most of that has been actually being AFK, waiting for plants to grow so I can build food, or queuing up really large amounts of resources that need to be changed into ore, or anything like that. So, hope this has been a very good overview. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to make a small vessel tutorial, or at least build a very, very skeletonized small vessel with everything that you need on it. And I'll show you how I like to build them, to try and keep the important components as protected as possible while still being accessible. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys another time. Bye.